Hey guys, so I recently came back from a 2-week holiday in France with my girlfriend. On holidays, I usually don't bring my saxophone, so I just have completely time off and are able to come back fresh from the holidays. The thing is, I had a gig planned for the very same day that we came back from France, and I didn't only have to play tenor, my main instrument, but also soprano saxophone. And to warm up on both instruments after 2 weeks of not practicing, I had in total 30 minutes time. I've only done this once before that I had a gig right after a long vacation, so I was not really sure how this would go. What didn't make it any better was that the gig was planned in a really well-known jazz club in Berlin, so I could expect that it's gonna be packed. In the end, it actually went surprisingly well, all things considered, and I thought that I could share with you in this video what I did to get back in shape quickly. So I was back from the holidays, had my 30 minutes to warm up on soprano and tenor saxophone, and naturally I started with the tenor saxophone since it's my main instrument. What I did is an exercise I learned from the great Dave Liebman called the tone matching exercise. It's not a very complicated exercise and great to get back to playing. It's based on the overtone series, and what you do is you start with the middle B flat, the regular fingering, and compare it to the B flat as an overtone of the low B flat. Then you go on and do the same with C, C sharp, and so on. I did it all the way up to high F. And you can set your focus on different things when you practice this exercise. What I do currently is that I focus on the intonation. So I try to match the regular fingering to the overtone. This whole exercise maybe took me 5 minutes, and it really helped me to wake up my whole system, my breathing, my larynx, my embouchure, and so on. After that, I wanted to wake up my improviser's brain, if you will, because I also realized that after taking 2 weeks off, my brain was completely somewhere else and didn't think about improvising or jazz at all anymore. And what I did for that is to just improvise slowly, really trying to pre-hear the next note before I play it. Since I really had time pressure, I already went further to the soprano saxophone at this point. I decided to start a little bit differently on the soprano than on the tenor. What I first did is I took only the mouthpiece and did an exercise only with that. And this exercise goes like this, that you try to play the highest note on the mouthpiece that you can manage to produce, and then you slur down all the way to the lowest note you can play. And the goal is to do this without any cracks in between. This can be quite hard. It took me really a while to learn this, and I'm still sometimes struggling with that. This is also one of the reasons why I started with this exercise. But I have the feeling that it really gets me in touch with the rather small mouthpiece of the soprano saxophone, and again, it really warms up the embouchure, larynx, and everything involved in playing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my neighbors were also happy that I'm back from the holidays at this point. It doesn't sound very pretty, but it really does the trick. After this exercise, I also decided to do the tone matching exercise that I previously did on the tenor saxophone, now also on the soprano saxophone. But this time I didn't focus so much on intonation. I decided to focus more on tone quality, because this is really the great thing about this tone matching exercise. You can basically show yourself how good actually the saxophone can sound like, because the overtones sound much better than the regular fingerings for the same notes. So if you want to develop a great sound on the soprano saxophone, or actually on any other saxophone, doing this tone matching exercise can really teach you what a great sound is all about. Yeah, and then it was already time to leave for the gig. I was a bit worried if my armature would be strong enough for playing 2 full sets, especially since I knew that in this club I really have to play with a lot of air. But luckily it all went well and we all had a great time playing there. I think also part of the reason why even after 2 weeks of holidays my armature was fine is that I spent years and years working on really having a relaxed armature and playing in a very relaxed way. I know that pretty much all saxophone players struggle with tense armature at some point. So if you want to learn about a few ways to relax your armature, make sure to watch this video next. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you would like to support me, make sure to click like on the video. This will help the algorithm understand that the video should be spread to more people. And also don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos like this. See you next time.